Oh, what's up, everyone? I'm here, waiting on the man of the hour, Philly next door, to get up in this joint. I wanted to come in and say hey to you all early. We're live, baby, and I wanted to come in and get the whole 9 yards, the whole sheboing-a-boing for you guys. Yeah. Yeah. Phil just hopped on in the chat. Let me add him real quick. Let's see, Phil, my man. What's up, dude? I can't hear you. You got to turn your volume on. Yep, now I can. You're good. You're good. I'm live already. By the way, surprise.
Oh shit! What's up, guys?
I just hopped on. I was like, you know what? He's updating. I'm gonna hop on in and say what's up. Dude, thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate you, brother. How you been?
Good. I'm actually surprised you actually hit me up. I
Dude,
was like, Blaine, what do you hit me up for? And he's like, oh, you want to come on my show? I'm like, oh, damn, I don't think I'm good enough for this guy. This guy's too smart for me on Twitter, man.
no.
MMA Twitter goat, man.
No, sir. No, sir. You are doing what I've always wanted to do, but never had the guts to do. So,
What do you mean?
um,
This stuff is better than mine.
yeah, okay. Well, see,
Original content.
and that's the thing. Like, my idea with Fight Library originally, if you want to know the honest truth, the idea was to do what you're doing, exactly what you're doing with combat sports today. So if you don't know Phil, he's combat sports today, and they cover just about every martial art you can imagine. Well, enough. I'll say he doesn't. They're not gonna cover all the weird folk style wrestlings that I cover, but who would? Like, it's a waste of time almost. I'm just a nerd.
To be
But
honest, I would, but I just like there's so much to cover.
there's so much.
As like, obviously you start with MMA because that was like the first thing that first combat sports I really got into.
Right.
And then got into boxing, and then kickboxing, and then I met some couple guys on Twitter who got me into Muay Thai, and then just led to everything else. It's like a domino effect.
Just gets worse and worse as you go, man. It really does. It's like such a deep rabbit hole, bro. Like, I'm like, where is this guy in the backwoods of Kazakhstan that does just this one specific style of wrestling? What's his name? How do I find him? Because I know I can see and learn something out of him.
That's what I like about your content too, because you really get to like deep into like other countries like combat sport, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, like what was it Senegal's wrestling? I think you
Senegalese
did a
wrestling. They can
video.
slap in that one. It's cool.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just like, yo, damn, Blaine's really deep into this. Like, he find all the random stuff, but it's interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, man. But it's one of those things. Like, I just I'm I like to have fun. I don't do this necessarily for money or anything like that. I'm just out here just chilling and having fun with people, man. Talking about fights, mixed martial. Alien, what's up, bro? He's in the chat. What's up, bro?
My guy, Alien.
Dude, Alien posts some crazy stuff, dude. It's so funny.
Dude, he actually followed me on Instagram on another account.
Uh huh.
And I was like, he's like, hey, you get to see my face reveal. And Alien, I did not expect that to be you.
Okay,
I
hold
had
on.
a
Time
whole
out.
different image in my
Time
head.
out. Alien, if Phil gets a face review, I got to get a face reveal too, man. That's not fair.
Actually, funny enough, because he actually followed this new page I started. Well, it's not new, but I kind of had it up. It's called Film Reviews.
Ooh,
But it's
nice.
film spelled with a PH, so it
Sick.
has my name in it. And
Sick.
I just wanted to like, sometimes you cover combat sports so much you get, burnt out.
Yeah.
But it's like my other page where I just kind of post news about like movies, anime, comics, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
I've
I'm
been toying with
everywhere.
the idea of doing movie reviews, but like martial arts movie reviews for this channel. I think I'm actually gonna do it. I think me and my wife are gonna go see the new Karate Kid coming out at the end of the month, which doesn't look amazing and reviews aren't great.
I
Um,
mean,
but it's still
honestly,
fun.
the only review that matters is yours, right?
Yeah.
Because I've watched terrible martial arts films over the years. Because I grew up a martial arts movie fan. Because
Right.
my mom, when she came to America, right, her hero was Bruce Lee. She said that was like the first superhero, like it felt like a real superhero to her, just because like I don't know if you watched those martial arts tournaments where he's doing like the 1 inch punch,
Yeah. Yeah.
and she's like, yo, that didn't look real, and she was like, he was like my idol. So growing up, she collected all the Jackie Chan movies, Jet Li movies, and the other
Sweet.
martial arts. And
So
we
I don't
had
know if
the
you're a reader. This right here, Wrath of the Dragon.
Yeah.
So this goes into Bruce Lee's actual fights, right? Like
Yeah.
he was in like a boxing match or a boxing tournament when he was a kid and stuff like that. This is a fantastic read. I'm not the biggest Bruce Lee fan. I think he's important, but that book right
Yeah.
there made me give me a whole new respect for Bruce Lee. Alien says I find some golden nuggets within the combat sports world, stuff you never expect to see. Yeah, like some weird stuff. Chris Cushman said Rush Hour Fight Club. Rush Hour Fight Club sent you here. Phil's back, Going Rounds podcast. Phil's back. Phil, you representing out here, bruh. Come on
Hey,
now.
man. Appreciate it. Appreciate. Thanks everybody for supporting me and you. So that makes me
Yeah.
happy.
So let's go ahead. Let's talk about these. Like, I hit you up, and then like the MMA gods were like, "Oh, they need content to talk about. Watch this. Islam stripped. Ilia Charles Oliveira. JDM wins the title. What is Kai Car France, Hamzat Chimaev, and Dricus Duplessis? Like, there's so much going on right now. Like, all of a sudden, we went 0 to 100 like really, really fast, dude. It was crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot going on right now. And to be honest, like I've been like so checked out, but it's kind of bringing me back in a little bit,
Yeah.
because like I mean like all of last, I mean, the beginning of this year was just, oh, is John Jones gonna fight Aspinall, or is earlier was Magomed, is he gonna fight Alex? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just a bunch of like fights that just like just that just wasn't happening. But now like I feel like the divisions are kind of moving along now, besides heavyweight. But my favorite thing that's happening right now is probably JDM being the welterweight champion. Because some
Crazy.
people don't want us. I actually like that. I like that he's the welterweight champion and that he's gonna fight Islam. And then now Ali's talking about that he needs to be stripped. He's not ready for Islam. But now, like,
Right. It's interesting. So there's some things that he has that play to his advantage, right? First of all, we've already seen him tried and tested against Alexander Volkanovski. The first fight, the second fight, obviously was a bit of a wash, necessarily, a kind of.
yeah,
But he's got Volkanovski in his corner. He's got Craig Jones, who is like insane about defeating Dagestan. Like, he has this mission, it seems like, that he wants to defeat Dagestan. And then, he's got the Bilal fight, which Bilal and Islam have trained together. But the thing everybody's really talking about right now is kind of the Topuria and Oliveira fight and how Islam moved up. And, like, that's the big question. Like, is Islam Makhachev ducking Ilia Topuria? What do you think about that? Like, do you think that's a ridiculous statement necessarily?
no, just because Islam already talked of moving up to 170, right?
Yeah.
He already said, like, I'm not, well, not his words, but I don't know if him or Ali tweeting. I don't know who posting for him. But he's already made it clear that he wants to go to 170. And he, after Armin, which Armin pulled out,
Yeah.
the winner, well, I think it was either win or lose. I don't know what the situation was, but let's say he beat Armin, he was gonna move up regardless and fight the winner of Shawkat and Bilal. Bilal says he wouldn't fight him. I don't think Islam. Uh, I don't think he feels the same way as Bilal, to be honest. And Ilya moving up, it was kind of sudden too. So I don't think the UFC really even expected it. I mean, most of us didn't even expect that. I thought it was gonna be him and Diego Lopez next, but he just like, hey, I'm done. I'm moving up, and I want Islam. And Islam's like, well, I'm moving up, so you screwed yourself. So we both, and now everybody's title stripped.
And I was listening to Luke Thomas earlier today. He was talking about how it kind of sucks when the title strips because it's like administratively changing hands instead of like beating the guy. Like, it's much better that Jack Della Maddalena took the title from Bilal Muhammad instead of Bilal getting stripped, moving up, or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The idea that Islam Makhachev is scared of anybody not named Francis Ngannou and Tom Aspinall is hilarious to me. Because like.
yeah.
Look at this guy. Look who he trains with. He literally is the training partner of Khabib. Like, he was his main training partner for decades, for years. Khabib has a book out, and he talked about him in Islam training, and it's been since they were kids. So to say that he's scared of Ilia Topuria, it's like, no, he fought the number one pound for pound guy in Alexander Volkanovski twice. He takes fights on short notice. The dude doesn't care. He wants to fight. And if you're actually believing that Islam is scared of anybody, much less Ilia Topuria, I think that you're just romanticizing and you're just fanboying, honestly.
Yeah, man. This is honestly like the thing I hate about like watching like combat sports today is just like the social media presence, like the online community, the internet community. And it's just like, oh, he's scared, he's ducking. I mean, there's some fighters on my field they are ducking, but I don't make it public. I just kind of keep those comments in the chats.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, but I don't think Islam's ducking anybody. It's just an unfortunate situation that eh, that Ilia had to go up and he wanted to fight Islam, but like I said, Islam wanted to go up. They both wanted to go up,
right.
you know?
Yeah,
And
and
so
the problem was like Ilia wanted to fight Islam for a while, but like Islam's been wanting to go to 170. Like even he mentioned it I think before he was even champion. Like he wants to get 2-3 fights here, go up 170, become champion because Habib never got the chance to do that, and he
yeah,
kind of wants to not eclipse Habib, but like that's part of their plan. They want to be known as great combat sports athletes, and in today's environment, that's kind of what you do.
it's crazy too because like Islam, he actually broke the UFC lightweight title defense record. Nobody's even talking about it.
Right, like
Just
it's such a hard record to break, and everybody's like, okay, whatever. But like, I was thinking to myself, like before the Armin fight, like if he beats Armin, like there's a strong case that Islam's the greatest lightweight of all time, and nobody's talking about it because
yeah.
it seems like he's expected to be the GOAT, like in that division, like. His lineage, like you're supposed to be the greatest. Mixed martial arts said to be the champ, you gotta beat the champ. Yeah, yeah. I think he's referring to when I said like administratively changing the belt. Like now, Ilia, if he beats Charles, doesn't have to really beat the champ anymore because Islam's gone.
And that's my thing about that. I like Charles. I mean, I do like Charles, but I want to say I love him as most of the internet does. Because like I would say me and you both watch him from the beginning of the UFC. And I've always felt like, nah, I don't want to say this because I don't get fucking flagged. I'm killed online, but I always thought he was like a little overrated. I always thought he was a quitter. I'm just gonna say it because like,
Okay.
and then he became champion, and I was just like, okay, never mind. He changed. I don't know. Just I thought Armin should have been next. It should have been Armin Ilya if you're gonna do that. I
It
mean, to
seems
be
like they got a
honest,
vendetta against Armin Saryukin. It's weird. I think they're gonna make the Gamrot fight and play the whole. Oh look, Armin Saryukin is getting his last L against Gamrot back. That shouldn't have never been. You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, if I was a promoter and I wanted to, crown a new UFC lightweight champion, I would have just done Ilya and Patty, to be honest. Why not, right? You do.
The history's
Why
there.
not?
The history's
Two
there,
young
dude.
guys, and you can do it in Europe too. I mean, come on, listen, Dana. I know you went to WrestleMania and you were in awe of that stadium. You like, holy shit, there are people all the way in the freaking bleachers
Yeah.
watching this show. This is incredible. You telling me that you don't go to Europe with Ilya and Patty Pimblett? That place is not going to sell out in the stadium, Wembley. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you easily could sell Wembley out, or what's the stadium in like Spain? If you want to do the one in Spain, bring Patty and Ilia to Spain. Now Patty's like one win away, man, and like hold on, let me look at the rankings because like there's a reasonable path for Patty to become a top contender at lightweight and earn the title without having to fight somebody. Who would it be? Let me see. He's 8. You could say no, not Gaethje. Man, it's tough from here on up. Hooker's the one that he can beat, but that's ranked 6.
I thought the Michael Chandler was like a perfect matchmaking thing because, like, if
Yeah,
there's anybody who's gonna fuck it up, it's gonna be Michael Chandler, with the guy with the worst IQ in the division. And I remember oh my God, I'm so mad I didn't bet that night because I stopped gambling, right,
yeah,
for like a while. Like, I maybe do once in a blue moon, but I'm just like telling my boy at work, dude, Patty, easy, TKO win. He's like, you think he's gonna finish Chandler? It's fucking Michael Chandler. That's an easy win. And he's like, dude, you're crazy. And then next thing you know, he's like, dude, he freaking beat the crap out of him. I was like, what did I say, bro? Because it's Michael Chandler. Like, are you really gonna put your eggs in a basket for him? He's
no,
only won what, 2 fights and he's lost 7?
yeah. Like normally he finds a way to look cool at least. This
Yeah.
that fight he didn't like. That was what stuck out to me. The fact that Patty just beat him from pillar to post because it was one of those fights I was just like, oh, this is different. This is way different. This Patty Pimblett is an interesting fighter, and also like people are giving Michael Chandler a bunch of credit. He's not that good. Like he doesn't
Yeah,
win the big
it's
fights anymore. Like he's past his prime. He's exciting. He's explosive. But I feel like we're living off of that Dan Hooker and Tony Ferguson highlight. Like okay, what's that?
yeah. the days of Michael Chandler being elite has been gone since he came into the UFC.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
And then he
after when
waits
he
2
lost
years for
to,
Connor.
yeah, I mean that really fucked everything up for his career. To be honest, felt bad for him because I actually loved Michael Chandler. I
Yeah,
mean, I still do. I mean, he got more cringier when he came to the UFC, but when you, I mean, the reason I found out about Michael Chandler was through Twitter back in the day. And I was like, what, a freshman or a sophomore in high school? And I
uh-huh.
remember seeing like Bellator, XX, what was Z, they were using like the Roman numerals for like the events.
That's
And that was the
old.
hash. And it was like Eddie Alvarez and Michael Chandler just put on the fight of the year. I'm like, it was #1 trending on Twitter. And I was like, yo, who's this guy, Michael Chandler? And then I just followed his journey ever since then. And then when he finally came to the UFC, I was so pumped. He knocks out Dan Hooker. And then I remember I put big money on him to beat Charles Oliveira, and which led to me like stop gambling after. Yeah. And then Charles Oliveira finished him, and then
Yeah,
and
but
after
you
every
were
single
jumping out of your
fight,
seat though at that first round.
dude, I don't, I don't want to talk about that one. I actually did jump out. I jumped off the couch. I was like, get his ass, get his fucking ass, get that quitter. I was just talking mad shit,
It's
but
just talking trash and like it's Charles Oliveira, he's super nice, but like when you got money on the line, you're gonna talk trash to him. No
oh
doubt
yeah, I
about
mean,
it.
I don't hate Charles Oliveira. It's just like I've seen this guy fight over 20 times. So I'm just like, oh, he's even 50-50, But now, ever since he's at lightweight, he's been proving me wrong.
And what was crazy was he was lightweight when he came in. He went down to featherweight and fought like Max Holloway and stuff when Max was on his way up. Max got a win over Oliveira, which is crazy to think about. Like nobody
Yeah,
talks
that
about
that
that. Like
that was in Canada too. It was
yeah,
like a first round stoppage. Like I remember Charles just like hold up my shoulder and just dropped
yep,
down.
yep.
And I was like, well, that's a bummer.
Yeah,
And
so
then
I don't think Islam's like really ducking anybody. Honestly, I think he's catching the smoke, and I think actually I do think Islam would have worked over Topuria. That's like a hot take maybe,
yeah.
but I also think Jack Della Maddalena is a little bit harder of a fight for him than what people are giving him credit. Now, granted, like in the Bilal fight, I saw some things that I was kind of worried about what Jack Della thinking about the Islam fight when I rewatched the fight. Like his trips against the
Yeah.
fence, like Islam's going to be great against that. But also, I really liked what Jack Della Maddalena was doing from, switch hitting and stuff, and really kind of, um, making himself hard to hit for Bilal, and him being southpaw does like Islam's a southpaw, like that doesn't matter to him. So I think it's a much harder fight than what people give Jack Della Maddalena credit for. And if he were to be the one
Mm.
to dethrone the Dagestani dynasty, that'd be crazy.
That'd be incredible. I love what Jack said though. Like, I think it was an Ariel show or something like that. One of his interviews, but he was just like, "Well, I gotta get one back for Volk, right?"
I
And I was
love
like,
that.
"Oh,
I love
I
that.
love that answer, bro." He's just like, "You gotta." He's like, "Yeah, beat the like you said. How you gotta destroy the Dagestani army? We gotta get one back for Australia, right?"
Yep, it's crazy. Like, dude, everybody in Australia is like behind him too. Like, you got Volkanovski's like all about it. Obviously, all the city kickboxing. Robert Whitaker's all behind it. Like Rip Whitaker's on board. Like it's cool to see those guys kind of put their arms around each other and
Yeah.
just this big camaraderie. I like that about the Aussies. They're really close like that. Kind of in the way like Dagestanis.
Yeah.
They're deep bond, deep brotherhood because they've been wrestling together their whole life.
Mhm. It's crazy too, because like 2024 was like the down year of like Australian MMA,
Yeah,
right? New Zealand as well. And so like Izzy lost, Whitaker lost, who else? Volk lost,
oh,
obviously.
that hurt my
And like
heart.
I think Dan Hooker probably. Oh, a couple, a lot of
Dan Hooker
Australian
was
guys.
winning. He was the only one winning. I'm like, he's the worst out of all of them.
Yeah. I mean he
Ursig,
was in
remember
bangers
Ursig? He
too.
got beat twice, I think, or once at least.
Yeah,
What was his name? Ursig.
Ursig as well. He got slept. Like he got slept by Kai Car. I
Kai
mean,
Car
yeah,
France,
evens
yeah.
out. That evens out, I guess. But this year it seems like this back up because you got Jack winning the title, Volk winning the title, you got Kai Kara France going for the title. So Australian MMA's back up.
Yeah, I don't put too much stock. That's our next fight we can talk about, I guess. Kai Car France's chances against Pantoja. I mean, what do you rate that?
Pantoja easy. I don't know. I like Kai Kara France, but I don't really think he's elite to be honest.
I
That's
don't
just my
like Kai
opinion.
Car France at all.
Like he's fun. Like I just think he's fun. Like I'm not the best
I
at it.
hate that so much. I hate it so much. Like it's so obnoxious.
Hey man, it's part of the culture,
I
so I
get
can't
it.
hate.
The Haka's lame. all of it's lame. And me as an uncultured American, I get it. That's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. But yeah, I mean, I don't think too highly of Kai Kara France. Like I said, he's always been just fun to watch. He knocks people out, fan favorite. But I think Pantoja just really gonna implement his game plan on. I mean, Pantoja doesn't care, man. He'll walk you down. He'll get on your back. He'll even just stay on your back and just like he doesn't care. Like he'll try to grab your neck and do whatever it takes to win. And if he can, he'll get the finish. But I see that going pretty one-sided in my eyes.
Do you think Pantoja's the most underrated champion?
Underrated. I don't know. Underrated
Like
is the
people
right
sleep
word.
on Pantoja, but like he don't have the title defenses, but you can make a good argument that maybe not better than Demetrius Johnson, but he's getting close.
I do have a lot of respect for him. I mean, I never like thought he was like underrated or anything like that. I mean, how do you put this? He's definitely not the most popular champion.
No, for sure not.
And I mean, every time people think about Pantoja, they think of many men. But
Hey Phil, this is my
um,
wife.
nice to meet you.
Why'd you throw that up?
Is that the too
Oh, you
sweet?
making fun of me? We're talking about Kai Kara France and Pantoja. What do you think, Shannon?
Um, I think
She don't know. Dude, the other day I let her pick my picks on Verdict and she went like undefeated.
No way.
She don't even
You
watch
put
it.
money?
I picked them based off of the vibe that I got.
Yeah, she just vibe picked and it was like 7-0. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, what's the vibe this Saturday? Let me go to DraftKings real quick.
Right, we got to get something going there, huh?
Yeah, as I was saying, but what about Pantoja? Yeah, I guess you could say he's underrated. I think he's underappreciated, really.
Very much so.
I think arguably he's the second best. Actually, no, he probably is the second best flyweight of all time,
Of all
right?
time.
It was
Of all
kind of
time.
crazy about
And it's not even
Pantoja.
close, really, if you think about it.
It's crazy about Pantoja and Islam is like I was actually about to bring it up. Is like I went to UFC Boston,
Uh huh.
and then the first fight of the night was Islam Makhachev versus Gleison Tibau, and Islam got his first knockout. And then like 2 fights later, it was Pantoja versus what's that guy's name? He trained with Anthony Pettis,
Mm.
the fly with Dustin Ortiz,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and he lost against Dustin Ortiz.
I remember that. Yeah. I think, dude, I've only been to one fight and it was in New Orleans. That was Dan
I'm
Henderson versus
guessing
Tim Boach.
was the co-main event or the opener was Yancy Medeiros versus Dustin
Yes.
Poirier.
Yes.
I remember that one specifically.
That
I
was
was
a
like, oh,
great fight. Dude, that whole night was crazy. That was supposed to be Daniel Cormier and Ryan Bader. But then John Jones popped for PEDs and they was like, "Hey, we need somebody to fight Rumble Johnson. DC, do you want to do it?" And DC pulls out of the fight, and they had to redo the co-main to the main event. I was really upset with John Jones then because like I wanted to watch DC. Then I got to meet DC
I
at
love
like a boxing
DC.
event later.
I love DC. He's actually one of my favorite fighters of all time. He actually came. My buddy surprised me for my birthday because DC came to Boston
Hmm.
and he was doing like a T-Mobile signing thingy. And my buddy he actually said happy birthday to me and everything like that. And I was like, oh, I was like a little giddy ass little
That's
guy
sick.
at work. I was like, oh, DC said happy birthday. He said my name, and I just kept it. I have the poster, it's still signed somewhere.
That is
So
sweet.
I love DC. I don't
I
care what
got
anybody says about him.
really the only good memorabilia I got. You're gonna like this, being the combat sports today guy. I've got George St. Pierre,
Karate.
GSP.
George St. Pierre.
Yeah, it's a GSP karate combat glove, dude.
You probably hate me for this. I actually hated George St. Pierre growing up.
George St. Pierre's great. I don't care what
I
people say.
hated him so much
He's so
growing
boring. I
up.
know. I get it. I get it. He's
Not
perfect.
even that, because I was a big BJ Penn guy and he beat him twice. I was like, oh,
Ooh,
just
he
screw
beat
this
him
dude,
bad
man.
too.
Yeah, then I was like Nick Diaz and because me and my cousin bought that one. I told him, yeah, we're gonna buy this one. And he's like, he's gonna beat that freaking dude. And then he got his ass whooped. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm sick of this dude. And then I
With
thought
the
Johnny
gloves,
Hendricks beat him. And I was like,
aliens
you
helped
know
him.
what? But once they retire, I end up just like appreciating those guys more.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
that's like with me on all sports. Like for example, like basketball. Where rest in peace, Kobe. I hated Kobe my whole
I
life.
hated him, dude. I was like, I like the Kings. I like the Spurs. I like all of them except the Lakers, bro.
Yeah, same here. So obviously, being a Boston Celtics fan, I got my Celtics like on
Shout
right
out.
now. I got the Celtics on the game on my left. So if you see me looking this way, I'm like, oh man, game 6 right now.
Who's winning
But
right now? What's the score?
New York Knicks, but they're relevant. So, um, but yeah, so like like when Kobe retired, it was just like, damn, bro. I
He
used to
was
love
great.
hating you. But now I respect you so much, and like I miss you in the game. You were just like that perfect villain,
Yeah.
in my life. And so was GSP was my villain in my life. You know how humble, how nice he was. I was like, there's something fake about you, and I just want to know if
Just
it's
want you to
real or
lose.
not.
That's how I felt about Khabib for a long time. But then by the time he beat my guy Dustin Poirier, I'm like, you know what? He's not so bad.
Yeah.
He's really not. Now,
John
you know
Jones
who's
on the
a
other
real life
hand,
true villain? It's Hamzat
John
Chimaev.
Jones,
Like
really?
that dude's that dude. There's no way you can listen to him talk and stuff and be like, yeah, he participates in Kadyrov accessory work.
I have a theory on that. I feel like he's like under like his control or something like that.
Yeah.
Like if he does one bad move, it's over for like whoever's like with him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I do think that's why he went to Sweden. It's all hearsay, allegedly. I mean, I do
Yeah.
think that's why he moved to Sweden though, because of that. Yeah, those guys. I mean, Chechnya is a destitute country, man. There's not a lot of middle class or ways to get out of poverty and stuff there. It's just all wrestling. It's kind of like Dagestan in Georgia.
Yeah.
So those guys they get desperate and have to do desperate things, and it sucks. Because I'm sure Hamzat wants. I mean, he was a kid at one point in time. He liked
Did he
to.
have to like so you think he escaped? He had to escape the country
I think he
possibly,
ran
right?
away. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually can not me specifically, but my family can relate
Yeah.
because I don't know if you heard the Khmer Rouge
No.
with Pol Pot, Pol
Oh yeah,
Pot.
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, yeah.
So if you look into my family photos, you see my mom was like 5 years old with a mugshot, and she had to escape the killing fields.
5?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Pol
So if you
Pot's the
see,
one from Myanmar. Is which one's the correct term? Is it Myanmar or is it Burma?
I'm actually Cambodian, so
Oh, okay.
uh,
Well, yeah. So they were basically the reason I know a little bit about Pol Pot is because he almost eradicated Lethwei, um, completely from the country, which is the bare knuckle Muay Thai with headbutts, which is like the most brutal sport next to bare
yeah, I know
knuckle.
about that. Are you sure you're not talking about Cambodia? I don't know anything about
No,
Burma.
yeah, that was Myanmar. Lethwei was in Myanmar. Now Cambodia has some unique
I'm talking
striking
about
styles. They
Pol
have,
Pot, just in general.
huh?
Pol Pot, because he was like the dictator leader in Cambodia,
Well, I think
and
he
then
took over a lot of Southeast Asia.
yeah, to be honest, I never got into deep into it because my mom never likes to talk about it,
I
obviously.
can't blame her.
Because like I remember like in middle school and high school, and like other Cambodian friends would just be like, "Dude, like, how do you not know anything about this? Your mom never talked about it." I go, "No, she never even like once brought it up. Nor did my grandfather or grandma. They just like, yeah, we don't like talking about that." But uh, back to it, just like yeah, my mom had a mugshot when she was 5 years old, just
What?
holding it. It
What
had
does
her
a
name in
5-year-old
it.
do?
So then my mom, I remember my mom, I finally asked her and she was like, yeah, when me, and your aunt, and then my brother, her older brother, my uncle, obviously, he was forced to be a soldier, so he was taken away. So he was forced to be a soldier at like 12 years old. And then my mom was forced, and her sister and my grandparents were like taken away somewhere else. And I remember one time, I think one of the soldiers were just like, "Hey, we can get you out. We're part of the resistance, or whatever." So
Right.
they end up had to like go like midnight, like dark in the night in the jungle, whatever,
Sketch.
avoiding the landmines and everything.
Oh,
Do you know the light? Have you ever watched the Rambo movie
yeah.
when they had the lights and then
Yeah.
like you had to avoid the bombs on the ground?
Yeah.
That's what my mom had to go through, and then she had to escape to Thailand and freaking get to America. So crazy, crazy, right?
Yeah. That's crazy. So let's talk about combat sports today, man, because that intrigues me a lot, actually. Um, what? Tell me the genesis of it. Tell me, kind of how it started and why it started.
Okay, so I guess I could go deep. I never really told a full story, but like when I was like what, 15, 16? Well, I'm 29, I'm gonna be 30 in October.
Old
So when I
man.
was like 15, 16, I was like, no, 14, 15, I was like, I started to become like an MMA fan.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, I grew up a wrestling fan, and I kind of just found out that shit was fake, so I kind of like, moved on from it. I got back into it later on, but yeah, but like 14, 15, I saw Brock Lesnar and I
Monster.
was like, monster, right? And I was a big fan of him in WWE. And then he was in the UFC, but I didn't believe it. And this is the time when not everyone had internet in the house, like a computer
Yeah.
and everything. So like 14, 15, I was like, nah, there's no way Brock Lesnar's in freaking UFC. I look it up, he's in it. I see him in the video games, I started playing it. And that's how I found out about every single fighter. I knew who Frank Manchek Congos because of the video games and everything. Jake Shields, whatever. And then I started getting into it, I started getting passionate about it. And then like by like the end of high school, like for me, it was 2014 when I graduated.
Uh-huh.
I was like, you know what? This year I'm gonna start my own Instagram page and I'm gonna start my own website. So I go to WordPress, I make my own little website, and then Instagram, I made a little like Instagram account, and then I try to run it, and I was just like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing to be honest, because I
Nobody
sucked
does.
at writing.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know if I wanted to be a journalist. Because I remember the first thing I wrote, it was so shit. I forgot what
Of
my
course
name of
it's
the
supposed to
page.
be though.
It was like, this is my dream fight, Shinya Aoki versus Ben Askren. And then that happened, and then there was a wipeout. And then after that, like 19, like 20 years old, I just like I would still watch the sport, but I just stopped doing all that writing stuff,
Uh-huh.
whatever, Instagram, because I just thought it took a toll on me, and I just, I'm at that age where I just want to live life, right? So
Right.
I want to go party, have fun, do this and that,
Right.
and then but I just still kept up with the sport through Twitter and Instagram, and
Right.
then I just stopped with all that media stuff, and then I would say 2022, that's kind of like the birth of combat sports today.
Mm-hmm.
So from like the COVID years, I kind of just stopped watching UFC. And then I lost my job in like 2021. And then I got back onto the Twitter space. I'm like, you know what? Let me get back into the Twitter space. I want to get back into UFC. I'm seeing a bunch of whole new guys and everything like that. And then I start making friends with them. And then I always put like a tweet up and stuff about UFC or whatever. And then like some random guy from like Wales, whatever, hit me up. He said, hey, he sent me like a long ass paragraph. He basically asked me, hey, you want to be part of my group? I'm like, I said to myself, I don't know, man. I don't know this freaking dude. This is a stranger online. But he had like a couple of mutual followers. I said, you know what? Fuck it. What's the worst that could happen? So I said, yeah, fuck it. Why not? The name of the group was called MMA Dirt.
Yeah.
And then he had me in. He's like, and there was a bunch of other random people who got asked to join. And then, yeah, basically his goal was to start his own like Twitter page called MMA Dirt. And then he basically kind of like, I was only there for like a month. And then he kind of like taught us like, oh, this is what we do for engagement and stuff like that. When there's a UFC fight announcement, make a post about it. You know what I mean? And we would
Right.
go through an app. I forgot the app was called. It's called Buffer, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
They
a
just shut
social
down.
media app. Did it really?
Yeah, it turned into Crowdfire, and then they just shut down last week. I used to use it too, and I was like, this doesn't really work. But like, yeah, that I remember that app, and it shut down like literally a week ago.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, we was on Buffer.
Wait, no, 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 no,
Uh,
no. I'm thinking of something else. I'm thinking of a different app. Buffer.
but
Yeah, I know Buffer. Buffer's like the
yeah,
scheduling tool.
yeah, yeah. So he taught us how to schedule and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So basically, he just told us like, "Hey, man, if you guys want, turn on Marcel's notifications on, so that we know the latest fight news updates." And this is and the other page was I forgot what it was, but it used to be MMA Orbit.
Yeah.
Um, MMA Orbit's old name, I forgot what it was, but we had the notifications on. He just basically had to keep it on, and then whenever there's a fight announcement or whatever, just make your own post, and then you put it on Buffer, and then we'll press accept. But when I started doing that, the guy like those like they had terms which kind of annoyed me. Like, yeah, I'm the president of this group. Yeah, this is the CEO. I'm like, guys, we just run a Twitter page. Fucking like, you guys only have an LLC or at least, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it was just like they were just impressed with me. Like, yeah, I remember when the guys DM'd me, it was just like, dude, how are you so freaking fast, bro? He's like, bro, you instantly got that post up and made a graphic within like a minute. I was like, dude, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm fast, I guess. Once I see it, it's just something clicks in my head. It's like, go. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like a trigger. Just go. Go
Yeah, you
make
got
that
your
post
template.
right now. Yeah. I didn't even have a template, bro. I just used like some cheap ass app or whatever. And then like screenshot it because I had to, when you have the logo, you need to pay for to get rid of the logo.
Oh yeah, so you screenshot it so you don't have the logo.
But the thing is, I had to press on the picture so it'll like pop up. And then I was screenshot. It was ghetto. Like it
Hey,
was
bro.
super ghetto.
Hey, talk about broke.
Yeah, it was super ghetto.
Oh my
And
god,
then I did that shit for
I've done
like
it.
a month. But like the stuff that they didn't like was the non-UFC stuff, which I didn't really appreciate. because they're like, you guys posting like Bellator and all this stuff. We don't really care about that stuff. We just want, UFC is the main thing we want to go for. And, we try to get the best engagement. We get the best engagement because Bellator and One, PFL, whatever the promotions around that time, basically just wasn't important to them. But instead, they would want to push stuff like Babe of the Day. Literally, it was called Babe of the Day,
I
where it
remember
was
that.
like, yeah, so you might know that page then. And then I never posted no babe because I wasn't like, dude, I'm not a simp. I'm not going to Mackenzie Dern, screenshotting her freaking selfie and then posting the babe of the
Ooh,
day,
that's some
Mackenzie
thirst.
Dern.
That's down bad.
But they were so focused on the engagement stuff, right? And I was just like, yeah, this ain't for me. And then and then they
And
announced like some new
to like
president of the.
clarify a little bit, this is before Elon Musk bought Twitter and
Yeah, 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 yeah,
started paying people to post.
yeah, yeah.
This is
This is
like purely for
before.
the love of the game.
Yeah, purely love for engagement.
Ugh.
And this is I understand the engagement. I mean, I get to that later, but like, don't let the engagement take over your head. It doesn't mean anything. But yeah, they just wanted pure engagement. Like, oh yeah, we get likes, like 20 retweets on this chick. They just basically want some stuff to just get the engagement. And I kind of fell for that stuff, right? Like,
Yeah.
just falling for getting only looking for stuff that like, oh yeah, I know this is gonna give me like 30 retweets and stuff like that. Like somebody's gonna see it, whatever. And it came to a point where they just didn't want us posting on the other promotions. So I'm just like, well. I don't know if I feel about this. And then they had this, they announced some new chick as the new seat president of MMA Dirt. And I was just like, what? And then she's like, okay, guys, I'm gonna assess the whole thing you guys been posting. I'm like, and then and then she posted all the, like a full on, like, freaking essay basically saying we're only gonna do Babe of the Day, only UFC content only. Bellator, PFL stuff, if it's only important, like for example, like Francis Ngannou signing with the PFL, whatever. Bellator sucks, nobody cares, yada yada, a bunch of other crap. And then I remember nobody answered, and there was two guys I'm cool with who are now CST, who I started CST with. Let me apologize. So his name is my boy Josh and my boy D Wood. I DM'd them separately in like a little group chat. I was like, hey guys, I don't know how I'm really feeling about this. He was like, yeah. He's like, what's up with this freaking chick calling herself the freaking new president? Like, who gives a fuck? And this and that. And I remember I just sat there for like 5, 10 minutes, like before I even pressed send. I was like, you guys want to start our own thing? They were like, shit, you think they'll get mad at us? I was like, well, maybe we do it secretly, right? Maybe we do it secretly. And then, it's like they're like, fuck it, I'm down. And I remember when they both said I'm down, I jumped on my computer. I went on some cheap ass website. I don't know what the fuck I went on. And I was like, damn, I need a name. I was like, I didn't even think about this through. I was like, I don't want to sound too freaking cheesy or whatever. And I was like, and I remember I followed this Twitter page called Boston Sports Now.
Yeah.
And then I liked the logo and everything. I was like, Combat Sports Now. I want to go with that. I like that name. Whatever. And then I was like, you know what? Let me look it up. If there's anybody else that has it. Somebody else fucking has it. I
Yep.
was like, fuck. What do I do now? And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's go with today. And today now, kind of the same thing. Whatever. And I just went with it. I was like, you know what? This sounds cool. CST, we just call it abbreviated. That sounds cool, right? I was talking to myself pretty much. I made the logo instantly, $20. I paid right there. It was like orange, blue, and black. It
I
was
like
like some template. And then yeah, I was like, hey guys, you guys like the logo? And they were just, I'm not gonna lie, they were just saying yes to anything. So I didn't even know they're actually just like even care or not. They were just going with the flow. And I was like, all right, fuck it. I made the page, I made the Twitter and everything. And then like I started posting on there. My first post I made was a one championship post. Anatoly Malikin versus Arjun Buller was booked, whatever, you know. And then like 2 hours later, my account got suspended. I was like, what? What happened? And then like I had to wait like 10 days or whatever. And
it's
then we got
terrible.
back to post. But what ended up happening was too, is like the other guys always remember we always repost this stuff. And we stopped reposting and making posts. And then the guy who recruited us caught on and gave us the boot. And then my boy D Wood messaged him and he was just like, dude, what the fuck happened? He's like, why'd you kick us out? He's like, oh, don't play stupid with us. Me playing stupid. I don't know what happened. And then
Hey, so you pause real quick. You want to know ghetto? Remember you telling me you were ghetto?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't pay for Zoom, so my 40 minutes is up. So I'm going to end the call, send you another call over DM on Twitter, and we'll resume this in a second. So give me a second, my dog. I'm going to end this real quick. I do this every week. I don't know why. I don't know why, but hey, it is what it is. Ah, that's so funny. Invite. Copy invite link. All right, let me go back to it. Let's get it back on here, Phil. I'm in the middle of this good story from Phil. Oh boy, there we go. Y'all don't hate me. I'm gonna figure it out one day, fellas. I'm gonna get it together. I promise. Come on, Phil, get back in here. Well, this is weird. It's weird because like I like his Combat Sports Today stuff. I do. I think what he's doing there is kind of cool. It's unique. It's interesting because it's not just MMA UFC. So I dig it a lot. What they're doing is interesting. There he is. Hey, there he goes. If I can figure it out. Can you hear me again? Told you, bro.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did like a 2-hour stream before.
40 minutes is all we get. We're going to do it in 40 minute chops.
I was like, what? Are we live right now?
So, balling on a budget, Alien said, really enjoying this. Hope y'all link up. Dude, we're going to link up more for sure. So what piqued my interest about you, dude, way back in the day, okay, so the old heads will remember this. Do you remember MMA Today?
The history page?
Okay, so this might be a little bit while you were out of the scene. MMA Today was like this startup website. I wrote for it back in the day, and dude, let me tell you the type of names that were in MMA Today. Nolan King was in it.
It sounds familiar.
Nolan of MMA Junkie.
Yeah, Nolan King is actually from Boston.
Yeah. Okay, so you know Nolan pretty well then.
I don't know him well. I mean, we don't know each other, but
Right.
I know of him because I always support New Englanders.
Right.
Like Jose Young's mom lives like 20 minutes away from me.
That's
Because
awesome.
Jose Young's from Providence, Rhode Island. I live on the borderline, Rhode Island, Massachusetts.
Okay. Yeah, so
So
it was him. We had Alfredo. It was just a bunch of like young people wanting to get into the game, and like Nolan had put me on to like interviews and such. Like, you remember Jarrett Gooden fought in the UFC? Oh, yep, going around remembers MMA Today. Yeah, I was part of that, and like it got shut down. You remember Alex Scafidi? She was kind of obnoxious on Twitter and got yeah, she was there. It was a bunch of like just future like real big names. Like they picked up some good names there. It piqued my interest because I'm like, Today, like it has the whole Today moniker, and the colors were black and orange, the same shade of orange you had.
No way.
And I was like, wait a minute, is this somebody trying to do something? I was like, what's that? Give me that. And then you started posting about all this other stuff. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. This is cool. I like it.
That's actually pretty cool, actually. I didn't know we had the same color scheme and everything.
Yeah, like,
no, that was on the.
It was just, man, it's
unintentional.
throwback. Like, I was really upset because they sold the website. Now it's like an affiliate link website or something. It's terrible. It's not even active anymore. I might actually be able to. Let me see something real quick. GoDaddy.com.
Every time I think of GoDaddy, I think of Candice Michelle. You remember Candice Michelle?
No.
WWE. I don't know if you're a big WWE
I'm
fan.
not a WWE person, really. I did meet Summer Rae once.
Oh, nice. Yeah, she went on BYB or BKB now.
Yep. I met her at BKB actually. It was cool. I didn't even know who she was.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there. I'm chatting with her. I'm like, hey, yeah, this is my first time at BKB or BYB. It's interesting. And I like bare knuckle. And she's like, yeah, I used to do professional wrestling. Do you remember me? I was like, no, I never really watched professional wrestling. She's like, hey, I'm gonna follow you on Twitter. And I looked, and she had like 900,000 followers on Twitter. I'm like,
Yeah, she's
oh, okay, yeah. So she's super popular, and she was cool. Every time I see her at BYB, like I make it a point to say, hey, what's up? Because she was nice to me there.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's super cool. Like she was basically a famous person, and she nicest random person there.
that's pretty cool follow. You know what's the most random follow for CST?
Who's that?
Andrew Tate. Dude, it was like
How?
7 in the
How?
it was like 7 in the morning, bro. I was waking up for no, I was awake for like a Rise kickboxing event, right? And then I remember I don't know if you know King JC on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my guy. I remember we were just like, we're messaging each other. He was at work because he works there overnight. And I remember I seen like a notification that says Cobra Tate followed you. I'm like, Cobra Tate? Is this like some Cobra Kai shit? Like, what am I looking? And I look at it and I was like, Andrew Tate? And I thought I was just like tripping. I was like, nah, it's 7 in the morning. I'm tripping. So I wipe my eyes. I look at it again, like, Andrew Tate? And I call Jay. And I like FaceTime. This is the first time I ever FaceTime Jay, right? Because we always like talked on Discord and stuff like
Yeah.
through the voice chat. And it's like the first time we see each other face to face. And I'm like, my hair's all fucked up and everything. He's like, Jay? He goes, Phil? Like, what's up, man? Nice to see your face. But Andrew Tate followed us, bro. He goes, what? And I was like, no way. I thought we're gonna be famous or some shit that
Don't be
night.
nuts. I got you beat. Okay, so I got somebody that's not as famous as Andrew Tate, but it's like the even more random. You know who follows me on Twitter? You can go check this out. You know who follows me on Twitter?
Don't
Riff Raff. Tony Sherrigus, the Peach Panther, the Lamborghini alligator. Yes, the Riff Raff follows me on Twitter. I'm like, what? So it's so random. I quit school in kindergarten because of recess. Playing game like that, it's literally him. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Dude, he had like the craziest outfits. Dude, I forgot where was he from originally?
I don't know.
Like, was he from like a
Texas.
TV show?
He's from he was like had a TV show or something. He had the Tony Sherrigus video on YouTube back in like 2012.
Yeah, this is when YouTube, like, doing YouTube videos was really popping instead of like becoming a podcast thing now,
Mm-hmm.
like everybody else does on Twitter. I mean, on YouTube.
Yep.
Oh,
YouTube's
just
the best.
forget. Was he on MTV when I first saw? I don't know. I can't figure it out, but that's actually a hilarious follow. I actually forgot about Riff Raff.
Riff Raff's great.
I just
it
always
was so
remember he
random,
had
too.
that.
I made a comment about him like
He had-
a year ago, and he followed me. I'm like, wait, I like it. Cushman says he's going to that Nashville card. That's the Taliesin Teixeira versus Glover fight. Get good seats because that's gonna be a knockout. Going around says what's funny is that first came across Combat Sport Today, thought it looked something like he'd seen before, and I made it clear that it was the MMA Today stuff. It makes sense. Cushman also says BKB is great. Shout out to BKB. It's my favorite bare
Shout
knuckle
out to them.
promotion. And what's up, Knuckles Fires? What's up?
What up, Knuckles? What up, Going Rounds? Cushman. Shout out to Going Rounds. He's actually a part of the team as well.
Yeah?
Collaboration, yeah. So basically, recently I've been adding new guys to the team.
Right.
So because I want to do more interviews, I want to collab with other people.
Yeah.
Like CST is not just like, oh, I'm gonna hire you. I just know I want to collab with you.
Right.
I mean, I want to say hire because nobody gets paid, but
It's hard, dude.
yeah, but like I want to help other guys because when I found Going Rounds podcast, it was just like a random night on freaking YouTube, and I was just like, sometimes you get like a random suggestion, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just seeing this random dude, and he had like a couple like views. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give him that extra view and give him that like, and I'm just gonna watch his content and see if it's actually good or not. And I just liked it,
Yeah.
because he was talking about every other sport. You know what I mean? Like, not every sport, but every other promotion. I like that. He's diverse. I hate following just YouTube pages. They just strictly only talk about one promotion.
Oh, you're going to
So-
Kush is going to that Nashville BKB card. Dude, you were in for a treat if you've never been to BKB. And I think, is that LT Nelson on that card? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. I'm trying to think.
I'm pulling LT.
I seen his name, but I don't remember who he was fighting.
Smash
Who's supposed
Nelson.
to interview him?
Yeah, he's fighting freaking Sam Liera in music. Oh, dude. Okay, so LT Nelson's the best bare knuckle fighter in the world. That's got Carlos Alexandre on it, Peralta, my boy Ike Villanueva. Shout out Juan Adams. That's a good card, man. That's a
You
real
think he's
good
the
card.
best? I like Gustavo Trujillo.
Yeah, Gustavo. I saw him. Uh, I saw him in New Orleans. They fought in New Orleans. He beat Ike in New Orleans. It hurt my heart because I did a whole Fight Finders episode from
Ike's cool. Ike's cool. We did a couple of interviews with the guys over there. Shout out to BKB, man. Those guys are awesome. Greg Bloom.
Don Povia, all of them. Armored G says, "How is Islam ducking Topuria when Islam is chasing his dreams? Topuria is chasing his dreams. Nobody calls him ducking Lopez Revloyev. Got bad news for you, buddy. Gotcha, gotcha. I just want you to click." And then at the beginning of the video on the live stream, we said, "No, he's not ducking Topuria. Nobody, no, Islam definitely not ducking Topuria. Why would anybody even think that? You know?
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't think anybody's ducking anybody besides John Jones, but it's a different
I
conversation.
don't think John Jones is ducking Tom Aspinall. Honestly,
Maybe not. I don't think he's motivated, to be
I think
honest.
that's the problem. I don't think he
I
wants
hate
to
to say the
fight
word duck,
anymore.
but that's the title of this video, I guess.
Yeah, the title of the video is Islam ducking. So I got like may he rest in peace because his life is pretty much over. Kanye West, gotcha. It sucks, man, because like I was always a Kanye West fan, and now I've got like to do the biggest about face because he is off of his rocker.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I still listen to his music, not his new music, but
I was about to say, hold on, time out.
my
But
Wonder is one of my favorite songs of all time.
it's a good song.
I
I
love
really
that
like
song.
Twisted Dark Fantasy. It's such a good album.
Oh,
Um,
that's a good one too.
so what you're trying to get people on with you now? What's your mission with combat sports today? Are you trying to
To
spread
be hon-
awareness, have fun? What?
be honest, it kind of just changes every single day.
Yeah.
Like I don't really have a set plan because like I always think of something new. I'm always thinking about something new, right?
Hmm.
So I'm always like, I have this weird thing where I just sit in my room, I put my headphones on, I just stand there sometimes in my room because I just put my hands up, just like walking around my room, my headphones in my ear, just like thinking, like I get into like a space in my head.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, and then like I just like stand there and just be like, what I gotta do next? What can I do to like elevate this my brand, Change it up. What can I be different from everybody else? Well, I already know that I cover every other sport. Cool, right? I'm posting all the promotion stuff like that. And then shout out to the homie Val. He DM texted me one night. He's like, "Hey man, I feel like Val Dewar."
Shout out
He
to
was just
Val. What's up, man? I'm in a group chat with Val. He's a good dude.
Yeah, great dude. And he texted me like fucking like 10:30 in the night. And I was like, why the hell Val texted me this late? He said, "Hey man, I love what you're doing in combat sports today and everything, but I feel like you guys could be different, a little bit more different." I was like, I don't know, I should be offended by this. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was just like, no, I don't want you guys to just be a repost page. And maybe like, could write thought out like tweets and stuff like that. So, well, I don't know how to really put a thought out tweet. He's like, oh, that's what you could use me for. But like, I remember when he sent me that, I asked somebody, he's like, should I be offended by this or not? Because like, I'm not, but also a little bit like, because he was like, oh, I don't want to step on your lines. Like, oh, were you trying to step on my? I don't know. I just had like
Right.
that weird process in my head. Like, I never had somebody like approach me that like that in the group, because
Right.
it's always just like a bunch of yes, no offense to guys, but like they're just yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's a great idea. But like Val was able to like push me to step on my lines and be like, you know what? I actually agree with you. I do want to change it up. I do want to be different because when I noticed from that my me posting stuff, they don't care that it's combat sports today posting it. They just care about the news. I want people to care about combat sports today. Like, oh, combat sports today just dropped the new content video, whatever, like
Right.
interview, whatever. So I remember that was like October of last year or
Yeah.
September. Well, it was September.
Yeah. You've
And I
really
remember,
ratcheted it up recently.
yeah, yeah. And when it was September, it was just like, yeah, we got to be different. I don't want to be just a repost page like most Twitter pages and stuff like that. Because you got no offense to the guys, but like other pages like championship rounds, championship rounds,
Yeah.
and at the
Yeah.
time MMA Orbit and whatever like Twitter page they're not making their own content. They just kind of just like taking interviews and putting like their credit and stuff like that, but never link their actual article and stuff like that, whatever. Post it on a page, and then yeah, they just get like reposts. and stuff like that. And I was like, dude, I don't want to do that anymore because I used to do it because I
Right.
understand because the engagement was crazy, right? You get crazy engagement on that, people commenting, liking it, or you get 1 million views. And I remember just like for like a whole week, I just sat there and be like, dude, I don't know if I really even want to do this anymore because it doesn't feel fun anymore, right?
It's
It
not.
just I'm just reposting other people's stuff. And it came to a point where I just watch interviews to find the most, I don't know, the most clickbaity clip part, whatever, of the video. And I just like, dude, I don't want to do this. This is not even fun. Like, I remember when I was doing this, I had so much passion doing it because I was just telling people, like, dude, we should watch this one fight this weekend. This is who you should watch. Check out this fighter and this stuff like that. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stop doing all that crap. I want to just, make simple posts, whatever, this and that. And then I was like, yo, we gotta make our own content. So I told King JC, I was like, you know what? We gotta make some videos, bro. Like, I don't know what we was coming up with, but we're coming up with some stupid stuff. They're like, I was like, all right, Jay, give us can you make a video? Just give him the five that you should watch this weekend, and he'll do it, but he'll like mispronounce some of the freaking promotions. And then he was like, yeah, you gotta watch RSW. And somebody will comment, you idiots, it's RWS. I'm like, oh, fuck, Jay, you fucked it up. And it
Growing
was like,
pains,
oh,
man.
and then he had such like he would pronounce words wrong. Like there's an inside joke in our crew. He was like, atom weight, right? There was an atom weight fate. He said autumn weight. Autumn weight. So like that was like an inside joke. Shout out to Rome, because Rome always cracks on him for that one.
Yeah.
He was like, hey, autumn weight. And then he's like, oh my God. And then like eventually became Jay started doing comedy skits because he would always messed up. So he became bootleg Bilal
Bootleg
on
Bilal. I love it.
because he looked like Bilal
Yeah.
Muhammad, and then he started doing comedy skits, it started working, and then people just started loving it. And then shout out to Jay, but he ended up having a baby and stuff. So obviously he put that things to the side
Oh,
and
I
say,
know.
"Oh,
I know how that's
yeah,
like. I've been there.
yeah." But I'm not mad at him because I told him he's like I remember he reached out to me just like, "Bro, I know you need more content." I was like, "Bro, go be a father first, man. This is just for fun for us, man.
Yeah.
This and
So
that."
you're talking about you kind of going through the same thing I kind of went through, man. Like, first of all, Mick Alien said can't spell value without vow. I like that.
I like that.
But man, I kind of went through the same thing. I was like the news grind, putting out 5, 6, 7, 8 articles a day, and I'm like, man, this is where it's at. This is where it's at. I'm getting news. But then ESPN entered the game, and I had this realization, like, I'm not beating ESPN. They just hired Ariel Helwani. I'm not beating ESPN. As a matter of fact, I'm not beating Ariel Helwani. So then that kind of put me down a path of like, oh, let me start analyzing fights, and then like, I was like, what do I actually want to do with this? I'm not doing this for money or anything like that. I do this for fun. I like talking about fights. I like watching it and talking to people about it. I like talking like people like yourself. And then I started doing my Fight Finder series. I got offered to be flown out to the Dominican Republic to go watch Karate Combat, and I'm like, I got to do something really cool because they're, doing that, and that's
Did
kind
you
of how I
go?
started that. Yeah, I was like, man, that's a fortunate opportunity just by being around. And I think I've come to the realization, like, it's not about, if you like posting news, reposting news, cool, but I personally find more value in like making my own things and like improving upon those things. Like each episode of Fight Fighters, I'm like, how can I make this one better than the last 6 episodes? Um,
Yeah.
each podcast, I'm like, how can I make this more like an ESPN show? Like each show I do on here or something like that. I feel like that's kind of where I'm at, and I kind of feel like you're going down that path too. Like, man, what do you really want out of this space? And all I can say is like just experiment and have fun. If you don't like it, it doesn't mean quit. It means like I didn't like that. So
Yeah, like right now. So like I know I do a lot of like, reposting stuff too as well. But like it's making the graphics that make it fun for me, right?
yeah,
So when you put me on Canva, it
yeah,
actually
it's the
changed a
best.
lot of things. It's the best. And I'm not gonna lie. I paid for the subscription and everything. I was like, damn it, Blaine, he got me, yo. I was trying to save up on subscriptions and this mother
Dude,
got me
I
paying
don't even get a
$15 a
commission for that. I'm just like, Canvas is great.
dude, but like it was because I was going from the shitty apps to this, and I was like, this is beautiful, bro.
It's way
But the thing
different.
is, too, I was making posters on there as well, too. I don't know if you ever saw it. I
Yeah,
made the National Geographic Alex Pereira one. That was just on my phone, bro, in 15 minutes on my break.
that's
I did that
sick.
in 15 minutes. And people were like, yo, you're not even using Photoshop. Why don't you use that? And I'm like, dude, honestly. I don't have a teacher or anything like that, so this is my way of like going through it, you know? I have to start with the shitty app and work my way up, you know? And that's what I find the most fun about doing CST, just learning how to do everything.
Yep.
Like learning how to edit videos. Like, bro, I started using CapCut and all this other
Yep.
stuff, figure out little tricks, you know, little
Uh-huh.
getaways, you know? And same thing with Canva. I do because I evolved a lot from like the beginning, and I told myself just like I'm freaking gonna make this work. Like I don't care how long it takes. I wrote it in like one of this little doc thing. I was just like, I'm gonna make this work one day. I don't give a damn how long it takes. It's not the marathon never ends. It's something Nipsey Hussle says. I don't know if you know the rapper.
Yeah.
The marathon continues.
Yep.
So keep running, keep going.
It's a marathon, not a sprint, man. You just gotta keep posting, dude. Just keep posting and keep putting out stuff that you're proud of. And guess what? The next thing you post, you'll be a little bit more proud of it. And like Fight Finders is my baby now. That's what I'm
Yeah.
kind of mainly concentrated on. I've got a new one I'm coming. I'll tell you about it afterwards. But each one I'm like, bruh, I want to make it better. And every time I'm like, I was really proud of episode 1, but now I go back and watch episode 1. I'm like,
Yeah.
garbage,
I feel you on that.
garbage. You know,
I
weird.
I look at my old graphics. I'm like, oh my God, what was I thinking, bro? Like, what kind of font was this, bro? Like, did I really have to put that quote there? Like, it's just the little things, you
Yep,
know?
yep. You learn as
Like
you go,
that.
dude. 1% better every day.
Exactly. And
Alien
then,
says he does all this stuff on the phone. Dude, you can do everything on a phone now. Like I use AI to like make background images and stuff that Canva doesn't have. Like if I want
yeah.
an AI image of a British favela in a comic book style, I say, "Hey ChatGPT, make this up real quick." And it does. So it's the phones are so powerful now. You don't really need a computer anymore.
Yeah, honestly, I stopped using my phone as much because I had to buy a new one because it overpowered.
Rep,
So this is my third iPhone.
rep.
So yeah. Yeah, no more poster making on my phone because that battery gets hot.
Yeah, it does. No, I'll give you that. And you make a lot more than I do, to be honest with you. You make a lot more graphics and stuff. So, but
Dude,
anyways, man, my missus wants to go take a shower. I appreciate you coming on, dude. We're gonna have to do this again. This is super cool.
dude, if you want me next week, I'll be there. You
Yeah,
can
for
finish
sure,
the
dude. I'll let me schedule some out. I think I got a schedule with a couple other people ahead, but we're gonna get you back in here because this is a good talk, bro.
If you want my StreamYard account, because you don't have to do this ghetto ass Zoom 40-minute
No, I like
BS,
the
bro.
gatherness, bro. It makes it fun. No, I might have to hop on that StreamYard account. You ain't
Makes you feel humble, right?
All right, everybody, thanks for stopping by. Combat Sports Today, right over there. Phil, he is the guy behind it, but he doesn't take all the credit. Obviously, he's got a good team over there, and they're doing really cool stuff. And they are a player in the future. Phil,